Hey, what is going on guys, and welcome back to another Iceborne video. Today I'm bringing you an updated set for switchaxe, and this one is fully optimized for maximum nuttage for non-stop high power nutting. What I mean by that is that this set is wholly focused around zero skill discharge spamming, so if you play SA this way, then stay this way. If not, then I don't know, you're probably better off using a Master's Touch set, which I did make a build for, so I'll leave a little card at the top right hand side of the screen for you to click and check that out right now. But more on that later. Anyway, let's get into it. Fair warning, the jewels required are insane. For this we're going to be using the Golden Crescent, or Golden Crescent, which is the Gold Rathian switchaxe. This has a huge chunk of white with no handicraft, high raw, a decent bit of poison, 15% base affinity, and one level 1 jewel slot. All these factors combined are the reason it's arguably the best switchaxe in the game. I slotted it with a medicine jewel and I augmented it for an affinity increased and a health regen augment. Both of these are mandatory. The helmet we're going to be using is the Golden Headdress Beta, which is the Rajang helmet, and is slotted with a Flawless Medicine Jewel and an Attack Jewel. The chest piece is the Rex Roar Male Beta, which is the Brute Tigrix chest, and is slotted with a Critical Vitality Jewel and an Attack Jewel as well. The gloves and coil are from Ruiner Nergi, and they're slotted with 2 Critical Vitality Jewels and 2 Expert Jewels. The boots are the Garuga Boots Beta Plus, and they're slotted with a Challenger Plus 4 Jewel and 2 Flawless Jewels, and the charm is the Invigorate Charm 3. As a whole, this will give you max attack boost, level 4 Critical Eye and Agitator, maxed out health boost, crit boost, weakness exploit, power prolonger, and peak performance, 2 levels of recovery up, and 1 level of earplugs. Because of the high base affinity of this switchaxe, you only need to get to critical eye level 4 in order to get to 100% affinity on wounded weak spots. Like I said, this is wholly focused on zero-sum discharge spamming, and while you're discharging, you don't lose sharpness, and that is why we are not running Master's Touch on this set, which if you saw my previous switchaxe video, I was. We also have 1 level of earplugs because whenever you're discharging, you gain 4 hidden levels of earplugs, so having 1 level guarantees you won't be interrupted by some random ass roar. We also have power prolonger, so you have your amp state for twice as long, and I'm usually not a huge fan of peak performance in general, but it is so insanely easy to maintain with switchaxe that it's not even funny. This is why you have your health regen augment on your weapon, so that whenever you're latched on and you take damage, you just heal it right back up. And with 2 levels of recovery up, you heal 20% more with each hit. You're pretty much guaranteed to have peak up at least for your finishing discharge 99% of the time. I forgot to mention this earlier on, but because we have the Ruiner gloves and coil, we also have the Ruiner set bonus hasten recovery, which is an additional healing on top of everything to help keep your peak up. It is also affected by recovery up, so this is great synergy in keeping you healthy all around. You can run the same set on the Namiel switchaxe because it has similar stats to Gold Wrath, nice chunk of white, 15% base affinity, and a decent chunk of element. However, it doesn't have a level 1 slot, so you'll only have 1 level of recovery up. I use the Namiel SA whenever I can just because of how amazing it looks, but it's actually a really good matchup for water weak stuff like Glavenus and Tio. You can also run the same set with the Ruiner Nergi switchaxe, but because it doesn't have any base affinity, you're gonna have to trade some levels of attack boost in favor of Critical Eye. But that isn't really a bad thing. This thing still claps. My 2 sisters and I were brainlessly 3-manning Joe in like 5 minutes on a 4-player difficulty. It's insane. Now, I would say that Gold Wrath is S+ tier, I'd say that Nami and Nergi are S tier, but you can also use Rajang and Shara, but I would consider these to be A tier. For Rajang, you're gonna need the Kirin Alpha chest piece and the Alpha Ruiner coil instead, and that would let you have max critical eye, attack boost 5, and max agitator to counteract the negative affinity that you have on this weapon. And then you would also have max health boost and power prolonger, as well as the 1 level of earplugs that we need, and you also have an extra level of Divine Blessing, which is always nice. I always run Divine Blessing on my Rocksteady, so this just makes that all much safer to use. And unfortunately, because you need Handicraft, you won't have peak, but this set is still pretty strong. For Shada, you would need max Handicraft instead of max Agitator, so you would run the Kushala Beta chest piece, and this way you would have max Critical Eye and Handicraft and level 4 attack boost. You do have Agitator 4 as well, so you could swap 1 level of Crit Eye for attack boost if you wanted to. Anyway, you'd also have maxed out Power Prolonger, which is very important, the 1 level of earplugs that we need, and a non-elemental boost, but no peak, and only level 2 health boost. Still pretty strong. Well guys, those are my 0 skill discharge switchaxe sets. I hope you liked them, and if you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to drop a like, as it really does help me out, and subscribe for more Iceborne content. I would like to thank my patrons for their continued support, and I would like to thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.